anything? Anybody? Yep. I think I see our green lights on. That's us. Hello world. Hi Jay. How are you? This is Patricia O'Connor, and next to me I have uh, Frida Reba Darcy. And tonight on the Bonsai balcony, we are going to repot this guy. This is the little mame Japanese, little mame Japanese black pine. Show them in the real camera, Patricia. See if I can move in a little. We've got numerous little Cheerios and stuff. And I had originally planted this in one of Elizabeth Crutenden's shallow pots and allowed and we just kept the plug. This was the original plug that the tree was in, and we kept it elevated like that. Over time, we're looking forward to those roots becoming exposed. That's also, I think, kind of under potted, and in a way, not the best use of this pot or this tree. But I think it was a good compromise at the time, and it led to the creation of what I think is a really, really cool little mountain cascade. What we were lacking at the time was a really, really cool cascade pot. Elizabeth saw that, mentioned it, and sent us this. I've loved this. I've kind of been waiting to do this for a minute. I think this is out of all the things that we've done. A couple of weeks ago, we air layered a large trident maple. We've done a few big things. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this comes out tonight. So the tools that I have standing by for this are I have a pie tin of substrate. I've got my scoop. I've got one of Elizabeth's beautiful bonsai pots. I've got a piece of screen that I've cut down to a chunk size. It's probably not the right size yet. Got some Japanese pruning scissors, and I've got some Japanese black steel wire cutters, and I also have my stainless wire cutters, my Nipex, and a few assorted little piece of wire cutters. Probably way more wire cutters than I need for this job. Frida's per diem. She's hiding behind the computer. That's not on her. She's kind of on her mark. And that's about all. And the weenie skewers that we can't really ever do a show without. My coffee, and that's got it. That's everything we should need, plus a whole lot more to pull off this little gig that we got going. And I'm going to bring my wire around here through the coffee table. There we go. And then make an adjustment here to bring all of this close at hand. Busy day today. I dropped a video about mame trees, and I also said in that video that tonight we were going to do this. And then we had a T90 hiccup with our upload. Didn't cost us all day, didn't cost us heart, didn't cost us anything. We just clicked right along. But we did lose an hour on the in other words, I could have dropped that a couple of hours ago, but at that point I'd already decided that made a decision. There's going to be a drop right after this, and it was intended to be part one. It's more mame stuff. It's the mame day that I had outside on our balcony, and I don't think I said what we were going to do tonight. I think I did mention we were going to do something with tiny trees. I didn't say what, as far as I recall. But the thing is, on my end, what I'll look at is the big sheet that shows all the videos that we've done. And a lot of times, if I do a video during Saturday, say Saturday day, and it hits, it just starts to, get a little traction, just starts ticking along. And then Pat comes along and copies over that with a live show, which goes under a different heading. It only competes in my stuff with other live shows. So it kind of messes with my it kind of messes with what gets promoted a little. It doesn't get promoted in the same way. It's probably fine, but yeah, I've liked the idea of better of the video that I did earlier today, dropping it after this. So after this, this will show up in its own live feed category, and then later, you know, when it gets repeated, or you go click on a category that says live, you'll see it. But then um, these are never going to be my top 3 or top 5 videos, the live shows. As far as the other videos that are the how-to videos, they do real well, and they tend to last a little longer, and people tend to watch more of them. But they're not likely to ever be my top 5 videos. So if I take something that has a possibility of staying on the charts a little while and then drop it separate from that, then I won't be interfering it. Otherwise, it's kind of like burying it. We would have done a video today that we would have dropped an hour or two ago, and then we would have buried it with this live program, which would be in a slightly different category. Hi, Paul. How are you doing this evening? Yeah. So yeah, I had this guy nailed in there pretty tightly. I'll just set that down here on its side. Beautiful little pot. I will give that a nice little cleanup. I will give this guy a nice little cleanup with some baby oil, oil of bebe, oil of bambino, and then put that back, on the table. Sorry if I just made the microphone real clunky. Now, my idea on this was to avoid. My idea on this was to avoid a big root eradication if possible. I wasn't looking to do a lot of cut back on the roots. I felt the tree was slightly underpotted. I don't think if you repot a bonsai tree that you can turn around and do your candles. However, I had planned on doing the candles on this, so uh, I don't think it's a given now that I will. I do think though that I'll probably not reduce the roots on this because it was underpotted before, and we're going in this larger cascade pot, and I don't see where I think I need to. And then along with that, um, aluminum aluminum wire. Along with that, I will when it comes time to decandle this guy, I'll make a judgment. I'll make a judgment then, and you just probably saw me do that too. How did that happen? Oh, there it is. Okay. So yeah, I just something was in my lap, and then all of a sudden it wasn't. I'm like, okay, here we go. We're off. Here's our screen. Uh, if you go to your local hardware store, a lot of times they make screens. They make screens for people to put on their houses and their front doors and whatnot. This is nylon screen. They also make fiberglass and aluminum. I would recommend that instead of maybe buying little squares of screen, that you go to a hardware store when you spend a little money there, and then say to the manager, "Hey, can I buy a couple of inches of your scraps from where you make screens?" And then I would recommend the nylon because you're never going to cut yourself on the nylon. The fiberglass in a pot would probably rot, and because fiberglass does rot, and the aluminum would probably rip you to shreds. Like that stuff kind of tends to be a bunch of little needles anyway. So yeah, just for whatever that's worth, that's a little a little hack. So yeah, I get this stuff. I do work at a hardware store, but anybody could have done that, I think. Um, I would probably save it for when throw a little money down in there, and then go, hey, by the way, how about some of those scraps of your nylon from my bonsai trees? That could go a long way, and you could find yourself with like a, for me, what would be a several years supply of nylon of screens for your bonsai pots. Just a little, kind of easy to do that. So just making it pretty simple for us. We are going to go with one aluminum, and why that is because we still have that large plug. We're not going to expose all of that plug the way we had it last time. Part of it, part of it, but not all of it. So half of the plug at least is going to be submerged. And what I would like to see here, what I would like to see here is this part of the tree coming down, coming down the outside of the pot like a cascade should. I kind of hate covering up those roots. Then don't. Let's see. Looking at this pot doesn't have a perfect side or a bad side, either one. Uh-oh. I have more than one wire in here too. There's one I can get rid of. Get out of my tree. Where are you at? There it is. Okay. Got those freed up. Oh yeah. Get this out of there. Get this out of there. Let's start over. I want those roots a little deeper. All you guys can go a little deeper in here. Okay. Boom. Yeah. I would have been stabbing the heck out of those roots, trying to get them that far, as far back in there as what I just had them. Okay, though. Uh, oh, yeah. This is working out really well. The idea is I want this guy to settle down a little more. Let's see. Okay, yeah. That'll give us a little room to grow also. Here we go, Pat. I just speared that. Also, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna try to do about the same over here. See if I can get that just as. Hopefully, that's not too much. But nope, we got away with all of that. All right. Don't drop that in your coffee. Do I have that on the edge? I absolutely do. My idea all along was I was going to want this to drape over. That's when the dust settles, if I have this, what I have right now, I'll be pretty happy. I'll be pretty happy. Okay, make it so. Those are going to be the cutters, yes? Yes. Okay, we'll go with the stainless guys. Before we do that, little twist and part them. Okay. Okay, I got my thumb pushing up on the wire that I ran from the bottom. I'm pushing it up to make sure that I've taken all the slack out of it while I'm also pulling up over this way. Now I can set that down and all I have to worry about is pulling up and twisting it the same way I just had it, which is what we have going on now. And it's aluminum and I've already kind of gotten used to working with copper. So this isn't going to be as strong of a wire, but it is going to be more than strong enough for what we're doing. And it did come up that somebody pointed out, Pat, you're wiring those trees down with copper. I remembered hearing that the minute they said it. I think the time and what I remembered hearing was that was a no-no. But at the time I didn't have copper, so it didn't register the way it should have in the don't ever use any of your stuff you have right, uh when I got back around to using copper again, I wasn't really remembering that. So I probably have a couple of trees that are wired down with copper. And I was kind of like wondering, well, why hasn't that come up before now? I don't know that it hadn't. It could have been a reason why we had one or two problems that we had, but I don't necessarily think so. Also, I don't always leave trees wired down. I'm a big adamant about wiring trees down, but I don't always leave them down. Once they become well established, if I think there's a risk of that causing scars in places where it will look like we wired our tree down, then I'll go, it's not going to fall out of there. It's well established in that pot. I'll cut them loose. So I do have a few trees that are cut loose, and that might explain why, if that is problematic, why I haven't seen that before. And the thing about it was, is I was trying to remember what I'd heard about it, and I was going, well, I don't remember what I heard about it. I just remember it coming up on a Q&A. But here's the other thing I know about it. People who want to plate things in copper will sometimes use a little transformer or a 12-volt battery and a plastic vat over here and another vat over here, and then they'll or a vat with two different leads and some salt water, and one of the clips will have a piece of copper on it, and like a penny or something, and the other will be stuck to the thing they want to copper plate. Well, I've seen people take some purple crystals and they pour in that water, explaining that they didn't need the penny. The purple crystals were a root killer compound that you could get in nurseries whenever you wanted to kill roots off of things that would maybe get your water lines and stuff. Explaining that those purple crystals were copper, high concentrations of copper. So I'm going, copper is the main ingredient that you use for root killer. That's probably something. That's probably something to that. So yeah, one of you guys pointed that out. And so for the last couple of trees, I haven't been using my leftover copper wire to wire in trees. And I probably will try to make sure that if I see anything that's got some beautiful wire going down in the ground where I wired them in, that at some point I'll cut them loose before that starts becoming, before that would have a chance to start really breaking down good and showing up. Otherwise, I do see, especially in Japan, yeah, copper sulfate. Okay, I appreciate that, Jay. That's a little less worry. Here's the other side of that. I have seen, like, whenever I watch videos that are from Japan, Bonsai Q and um, Kimi Bonsai and Bonsai Syndicate. Um, I've seen nail heads sticking up out of the pot. I mean, out of the substrate, around here, and they were rusty. And I noticed it more times than I've heard it explained before I finally heard somebody explain that that's a trick that they do, and evidently a lot of people do it up there because I saw it quite a few times before I finally heard somebody explain it. So they do it enough to where they don't feel like an explanation is necessary, but they say that's what keeps them. That's what keeps their trees from being so yellow. And I think they would do that in wintertime. That breakdown of iron, right? And Jay at Blue Jay Bonsai, and we miss your videos, Jay. But you be you. I hope that however that's working out, I hope your trees are happy, and I hope you're happy with your trees and stuff. And I miss seeing the work on your trees and your dogs. But Jay was saying that those blue purple crystals or a copper sulfate, I think is what he said, and not the same as copper wire. So that would also explain why I would remember that being a topic, but not remember the outcome. So I might have jumped to a conclusion out of worrying, but it was also y'all were looking out for me, which is way cool. Um, yeah, yeah. So last week's show, we started 3 attempts to do a live show, and we just were not able to get our mics, our lava lures to do what they were supposed to do. They were just finicky the whole time. And off camera, like later on that night, rather late, I did a camera test, which I have to go live again. Except it didn't say, I didn't put a header on it. I just live video test. I think the camera might have been pointed straight up or something. And after 10 minutes of fooling with it, I was able to get the mics to come on. So based on that, I said, okay, we haven't really learned anything, but we're going to give that a try again next Saturday night and see how it goes. So I was glad that we were able to move past. I didn't want to. I wasn't looking to do anything super earth shattering, but once I hooked on, once I hooked onto this idea, I got really excited about the prospects, and for good reason. This came out really nice, Elizabeth. When you see this is absolutely a beautiful combination, and you are absolutely right. Now, the deal here is that's a needle I can get rid of. The deal here is, as I did, we have no carnage. We have that in the way of carnage. Other than that, we just kind of slip potted this baby into an appropriate pot that would allow us to bring this tree down. That's room to grow, and I would like to see it go further down this pot as as it grows. And it's planted deep. Our plug is planted deep. We can expose it some a little, but right now I wanted the tree to go over the side at least that much. I could have maybe liked it if it would have had a little more plug up here, but I think the dimensions of the pot are so good, and I like how much of it we have going down. and I like the dimensions of the tree. So I think it'll grow into that. Um, as it elongates, I think we're going to be able to work with that. That is going to bring this in a little tight and closer and see if I can give you a better look at this guy. Got all of those circles. We did that last year. Now, the idea about saying I treaded lightly on the roots is I'm going to check the health of this tree when it comes candle cutting time. Had we done a typical repot where we'd have done a lot of, like reduced the roots and done a lot of that, then all bets would be off. We wouldn't be doing any candle cutting. As it stands, as it stands, I could play it safe and lay off, but I'm just going to say for now that we will take it as it will reevaluate come candle cutting season. All right, like and subscribe if you guys have not already. Our next drop will be in about 10 minutes when I do a drop a video called Tiny Trees. And it's where we just take a look at the opposite of what we did in our last show, which was oddly called Big Trees. I like big trees. So this was kind of the opposite spectrum, and we'll drop that in a little while. Tomorrow we'll go out. It's going to be another beautiful day. We will go out there on that balcony and make use of all that stuff. Make use of that backdrop that is our balcony and our trees, and just see what we can get up to. I appreciate you, and Frida appreciates you, and thank you guys for watching. Boom. Yay!